In last week's video, we arrived to Grand Lake, Colorado, at the western border of Rocky Mountain National Park. We stayed the night at Grand Lake Rocky Mountain KOA, where Piper was able to enjoy running around in the dog park. We walked around the town, window shopping, and checked out the lake. We also sampled beer and ate wild boar, elk, and buffalo sausage. Today we are leaving the Grand Lake area and entering Rocky Mountain National Park to drive the scenic Trail Ridge Road with a stop at the Alpine Visitor Center. We entered the park at 6 a.m. because we didn't want to deal with the wait at the gate or with a lot of traffic on the Trail Ridge Road. Also, during the summer months, you have timed entries, which I believe started at 8 a.m. Today, we are just taking it easy and driving the 48-mile road through the park from the west side to the east side.
We're at the Alpine Visitor Center and there's still snow on the ground. It is July, or mid-July. It's windy up here because we're at the top of the world. We're above the tundra line.
Alpine Visitor Center was closed when we arrived there, since it was so early in the morning. However, we stayed here for a little bit. I had to take a nap since I was feeling my beer from yesterday, while Chris and Piper walked around. Wildlife around the Rocky Mountains include elk, moose, mule deer, bighorn sheep, and marmots. There are also occasional coyote sightings.
He's just chilling. I think I'm just gonna watch.
The Rocky Mountains began formation about 18 billion years ago when tectonic plate movement pushed up a plateau of land. Glaciation activity caused mountainsides, creating steep valleys. The U.S. government acquired the land in 1803 with the Louisiana Purchase. Passed a handful of other cyclists along our drive. We also spotted a few at the overlook rest areas. I would imagine that if you were an avid cyclist, doing the Trail Ridge Road in Rocky Mountain National Park is a bucket list item. We reached the eastern side of the park and stopped at Beaver Meadows Visitor Center to stamp our passport book and look through the gift shop. We exited the park around 1 p.m. on that eastern side, which is by Estes Park. Look at the length of this crazy line to get into the park. You can see why they need to do timed entrances. We grabbed lunch in town, then headed over to the campground for the night. We reserved 2 nights at Estes Park Campground at Mary's Lake.
Fire pit there. It's our water hookups. There's our food to protect against bears. And then you have all the sites down there in the back. You have the tent sites. You have a whole bunch of sites over here. And then we have this nice little extra area here. A couple trees to shade us. There's a cornhole court, I guess, if you want to term it that. 4 games going on at one time up there. They also have a pool here, and they have a huge playground for the kids.
This is just before 6 o'clock in the morning, and Piper and I are the only ones walking around. It was very peaceful and quiet. We could enjoy listening to the birds and watching the sun come up.
Alright, so this is our second day at Rocky Mountain National Park. The first day, yesterday, we came in on the west side at 7:30, and there was no line whatsoever. So now we're on the east side, which I think is the main side people come on anyway. Beaver Meadows entrance, and there's already a line. So a little ways up there, it actually turns into 2 lanes. We're still on the 1-lane part. Yesterday we talked to one of the rangers and she said, yeah, come at 7:30, you'll have no problem. Well, it's 7:31 and this is where we are. It is 68 degrees out. We have not climbed an elevation yet. We're probably about 8,000, a little bit above 8,000. The highest point is above 12,000, above 13,000, somewhere around there. Our goal today is to go find the Continental Divide. Piper, are you okay? Okay, it is now 7:44, and we are we're the 4th car, so we've been trying to get in for 15 minutes now? Almost. At least the view's really nice, look at that. Elevation, 8,200 feet at the park entrance. Okay, it's our turn now, 7:47.
Good morning. Yes, please. Thanks. Have a good day.
And we're through. So 7:47 from 7:31. So in the morning, starting at 9 a.m. they do the time passes. So nice out though, lovely temperature, everything. We're gonna enjoy our hikes today. Now we're in the tundra.
No trees.
No trees, plenty of wildflowers. They look really cool though, so pretty. Lots of yellow ones right here, but throughout our drive we've been seeing brilliant purples, whites, some yellows, and oranges.
Temperature's dropping.
And temperature is 59.
And dropping.
And dropping.
Look at all the wildlife. It's either elk or mule deer. They're just sitting in the field taking in the morning.
So we decided we're gonna pull over at the Alpine Visitor Center. We're gonna park and hike up to the highest point. That's the highest peak of the Rockies. Right now, elevation's 11,796.
We were surrounded by a field of wildflowers as we ascended up the path to the top. The change in altitude and dry air can make you become easily short of breath or even develop altitude sickness. We made sure to take plenty of mini breaks to catch our breath.
So we got all the rest of the steps to go. This is what we've done so far. We're gonna take a water break, catch our breath, let ourselves accommodate a little bit. Very windy if you can't tell. We thought we were at the top. We turned the corner and we saw all that.
We made it to the top! Yay! After our highest elevation hike, we jumped back onto Trail Ridge Road heading west to Holsworth Historic Site. We passed over the Continental Divide, but we'll stop there on the way back for a short hike. The Holsworth Historic Site is a homestead from a German immigrant couple who settled here in 1917. They turned their property into a resort for trout fishermen, horseback riders, and other various vacationers. The Holsworth family operated their trout lodge during the 1920s. Guests arrived by driving wagons or Model T Fords. Fishermen enjoyed catching trout out on the Colorado River, which ran through the property. The Colorado begins 10 miles upstream from here. Park rangers walk around the preserved historic buildings, telling stories of the time period and the history of the area. You can walk around the preserved cabins, which include the kitchen house, living quarters, a taxidermy cabin, and other guests' cabin.
It's the Colorado River.
This is what this area of the Colorado River looks like today. But back when the family was running the Trout Lodge and Vacation Resort, it was a lot mightier since there were no dams or river diversions. After our walk around the historic site, we turned around on Trail Ridge Road and headed back east through the park. We stopped at the Continental Divide at Milner Pass and enjoyed another mini hike. This is the map we received at the gate coming into the park. Let me recap what we did for you today. This morning we entered at the east side through Beaver Meadows Visitor Center. Then we took Trail Ridge Road to Alpine Visitor Center to hike up to the highest elevation point. After this, we drove over to Holtzworth Historic Site, and after exploring the site, we turned around on Trail Ridge Road to the Continental Divide and Milner's Pass for the mini hike. Now our next stop is to find a picnic area to eat a snack and take a nap. We have a timed entry ticket for Bear Lake Road corridor, but not until 3 p.m., so we just need to kill some time. We found the perfect spot at Fall River and Endo Valley area.
We are at Endo Valley. It's a picnic area. You're allowed to bring your dog here. We found a spot in the shade. We're about an hour and 10 minutes early to our Bear Creek time. So we are just walking around with Piper. We might take a little half-hour nap and then go to Bear Creek. It's pretty out here.
It is now time for us to head over to the Bear Lake corridor. This is one of the most popular spots to visit. We were unable to obtain reservations to hike around Bear Lake, but were able to receive a timed spot for Sprague Lake.
We're waiting for the bus to pick us up to go to Sprague Lake. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Sprague Lake. We had a time entry for 4 p.m.
Sprague.
Sprague. The Sprague.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So we're going to hike around the lake and we'll go back to the vehicle, then back to our campground. But look at all these clouds starting to roll in. No clouds. See them all?
This is a fairly flat, easy trail. It is about 0.2 of a mile from where the bus dropped us off to the lake, then 0.7 mile loop around the lake. You cannot drive up to the trailheads. All personalized vehicles accessing Bear Lake corridor need to park in the pickup lot, then you are shuttled to the trailheads.
Okay, so we won't miss the shuttle bus stop sign for it. Okay. It's like I hear a noise I think might be a waterfall, but then I realize it's just the traffic. Yeah.
Sprague Lake is named after Abner Sprague, who owned and operated Sprague Lake Lodge from 1910 to 1940. As we strolled around the lake, stopping to take pictures or to take in the view, the clouds became fuller and darker, and the wind also picked up. We made it back to the shuttle pickup spot just in time because it started to rain. While we waited for the bus, we explored the drop-off location. There is a horse stable here and a mini lodge. 2-hour horse rides are available for ages 6 and up for $110. The rides go around Glacier and Sprague Lakes.
We did all day. It is 6:43. We entered 7:31. Was when we started in line.
That's it for today. We are heading back to our campsite to make dinner. Rocky Mountain National Park was the 4th national park we visited on our list. 2 more to go. In next week's video, we will be heading to Keystone, Colorado for my conference. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, share with friends, and click the thumbs up button. Take care.